to see how much that it removed. I think it did a pretty good job there. Obviously, I'm gonna need to go back and another time to get all that off, but I think that it probably took off like 97%. So I think that the multi-strip did a good job in removing that. So now I'm going to get a new scouring pad here and just do the same thing here. I'm gonna load up twice and we'll start up here. When you get to the top, just go slower because you don't want to flick this stuff on the wall that's behind you here. So okay, I'll rotate this. Now again, this is the side where the sun has been able to bake in the stain more versus the other side, the left side of the door where we use the multi-strip. So it makes sense here because this over here is darker, okay, and it's coming off easier along the corner here because this corner, when you shut the door, the corner is protected by this frame right over here. So this creates a shadow. See, it just comes right off in the corner, but when I get to the center, it's more stubborn. But as you can see, for the most part, it is calming off here. So when you look side by side here, they both worked. The multi-strip worked, or what appears to have worked, a bit better on the left-hand side of the door. But again, this left-hand side door was protected by the inside of the door frame there. And on the right-hand side here with the Citristrip, you can see that it came off in the corners there. So both of these strippers work well, or work enough to get the job done, but it's not going to come off in just one coat. You're going to have to do several coats. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to apply, I think that I'm going to go with the multi-strip now for the whole door, or we're going to go with this right here, with the multi-strip advanced. I'm going to coat the whole door with this. And I'm going to apply the plastic to it and give it a few hours to set up. And then we'll be back and I will shoot a time lapse of scrubbing the whole door. So we'll see you on the next one. Okay, so we're back here. I hope that you enjoyed the time lapse that I did of removing the stain and the varnish from this Therma Tru fiberglass door here. And in the time lapse, it probably took me like an hour and a half. And you saw me scrubbing away with these 3M scour pads here. And I also used the Clean Strip paint thinner to remove the stain from the Therma Tru fiberglass door here. And again, we started off with the stripper with this Citristrip, and we use this on the right hand side of the door in the first part of the video. And then we use the multi-strip advanced on the left hand side of the door here. And then for the remainder of the video, I just stuck with this. Okay, so I use this to strip the entire door with. And again, I used a 2-inch plastic putty knife here, because again, we don't want to use a metal one, because a metal one would scratch the soft nature of the fiberglass door here. And once I apply the stripper, I seal it off with painter's plastic, and this is from Sherwin-Williams here. So this does a great job in containing the moisture so it doesn't dry out. And lastly, we have I put an additional piece of plastic down at the base of the door so the remnants of the stain and poly fall right on that, and then I can easily dispose of that in the trash can so it doesn't get into the cardboard or the X-Board that I have down here. And again, it's very important to put this stuff down too, because it'll ensure or protect whatever type of flooring that you have. And again, they sell this at a Home Depot or Lowe's, and you can get it in like the roll. It's probably like 35 bucks for it. So it's well worth the effort here. Okay. So I brought the camera up closer, and you can see that I probably got rid of probably like 97% of the previous oil-based gel stain here. You can see that there's a little bit in the grooves, or in the grooves of the wood, or the grain of the wood here, and in the corners. But for the most part, I think that it did a good job in getting rid of a majority of it here. And in the time lapse, I don't think I showed it, but to get all the stain and the poly out of the crevices here, or the indentures, I used a painter's tool, which is a 5-in-1 tool, and I used the very end of it, which is this tool right here. This is a 5-in-1 tool here. There's 5 tools on it, and what I do is I use the end here of it to get into there, and then I wipe it on a paper towel here. So this end of it right here does a great job into getting into all the grooves of the door here. So again, we're going to be restaining this Therma Tru fiberglass door with the mahogany gel stain that was previously used on it here. And one more thing, after you saw the time lapse, I went around probably once or 2 more times with the scouring pad and the paint thinner to get even more of it off here, okay? Because it didn't just come right off. It did come right off in the areas that were protected by the door casing. So those are the areas that didn't get a lot of natural light here. And again, this door was protected by a storm door. Okay, so that means that it wasn't exposed to any of the elements, rain, snow, sleet, but it was exposed to the sunlight. And again, the gel stains did a good job in removing the varnish from the outside of the door here. In like the time lapse, I think that you were able to see me. It just came right off. But the areas towards the middle of the door where the sun had already had baked away or eroded away the varnish, the stain was still left on the door, and the sun had actually like baked the stain into the door, and the stripper didn't really do a good job in removing that, so I had to use the paint thinner along with the 3M scour pads here to remove that stain that was really baked into the surface here. So before you start a project like this, a few things to consider. Is your door, is it exposed to the sunlight, or is it away from the sunlight? So if you have a front door and there's southern exposure, and what that means is that the house or the doors face the south side, and the south side will always get more light, whereas if the doors face the north, then they're always going to be in the shade. So if you have a door that's in the shade, you might have an easier time than I had here. Okay, so that's one thing to consider. So I hope that these tips and techniques are going to help you when you try to remove a oil-based gel stain from a fiberglass door here. And once again, I'm trying, in this video, I'm explaining how to remove an oil-based gel stain, which is much harder than a latex or a water-based. I haven't done a video on how this stuff works with a water-based stain, but I can certainly tell you that the oil-based is much more forgiving to use. So I hope that these tips and techniques will help you out in the future whenever you try to tackle a job like this. And thank you for watching. And once again, I'll list all the products down in the description of the video, so you can go there to purchase those if you want to take on a job like this. So once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.